before we start, it's National Reconciliation Week, which starts on the 27th of May to the 3rd of June. Reconciliation Australia acknowledges and pays respect to the past, present and future traditional custodians and elders of this nation and the continuation of cultural and spiritual and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people. There we go. Welcome to episode 42 of Talking Prisoner, part 2 with the lovely Desiree Smith. Now, Desiree, sorry, good afternoon, Ken. I'm all over the place at the moment.
Good afternoon.
Now, can we talk to you before we start about prisoner, about what we just discussed?
Oh, sure. I can go on about that because that's, I work with little children and my job is to implement the Aboriginal culture to them. So today started, I'll show you this pattern is called, can you see me? Connecting to Country, which has been designed by an Aboriginal artist. I've forgotten the name, sorry, but it comes out on special occasions. Well, it comes out a lot over summer, but it's not really warm for winter. So today we've been doing all sorts of activities with the children. I live on Wurundjeri land, and the Aboriginal people have 6 seasons. So it's the wearing wombat season, whereas we call it autumn. They knew the season by, all the wombats would come out and eat the green shoots. So we're making clay wombats. I did make some prototypes, but they look a little bit more like an echidna. And I made a pipe cleaner for their nose. So I wanted them to be hairy nosed wombats because they're endangered. So, yeah, the girls at work laughed and said, a little bit more like an echidna than a wombat when I put the stripes on them. And I was telling you how I've given all the children a twig of gum leaves today with a little banner on it, which is the saying for this year is be brave, make change. And I was telling Matt and Ken about when I came to Australia, my mum didn't want my sister and I to be disadvantaged, and she thought, we're going to be Australian children now, that we will learn about the Aboriginal history at school, which sadly I went to school in the 70s, and Ken and Matt were saying even in the 50s and the 80s there was no way you were learning anything like that. You learned that Captain Cook discovered.
Can I stop you for a minute? Why do you think that was? Why do you think that it wasn't discussed all those years ago?
I think we didn't have the respect for the genius of the Aboriginal people. We still believe that Captain Cook, who, like I told you, was not a captain when he came to Australia, he didn't even discover it. And he, and whilst some accounts of him he wasn't that cruel, they were so cruel. People were so awful. They called it terra nullius, which means nobody's land, which is the book I was reading to the children today. And, it was Aboriginal land, it is Aboriginal land, and it will always be Aboriginal land. And we are lucky to be here. But I think we were still under the belief that, had it not been for Captain Cook, this country wouldn't have developed and become what it is. But they had so many systems in place, and sadly, we never learnt about them. And I know nothing. I try to teach myself, but it's such a small amount what I know. And growing up, if I did have any Aboriginal friends, they too sadly didn't know a lot about their culture. And I think times are changing. The slogan, be brave, make change and tell people about the systems. Do you know they were wonderful astronomers? Not so much like, we've got the Milky Way above us, but they could tell their stories from here. And I apologise if I say anything wrong, because I am on my journey of learning about Aboriginal culture. And, sometimes what you read on Google isn't always correct, but I'm saying it with what I hope is truth. But the children, they're so enthusiastic about it. I was telling Ken and you before about, we sit down at story time, which we call our yarning circle, and they do here, and these are 3 and 4-year-olds. Here is the sun, here is the sky, here are my friends, and we look around at all our friends, and here am I. And here is the land, we touch the ground. that we live and play on that's been looked after by that. And I still get a joy out of it, as much joy as I get when children try to say yellow, because Melbourne, where I live, is Wurundjeri land. So you get 3 and 4 year olds trying to say Wurundjeri. It's always said with such enthusiasm, but it's a big jumble of comes out from the Kulin Nation. And I say to them, what do we say? We say thank you. And they're so proud of it. And I was explaining a story that I said to them before. So there are simple ways you can teach children. I said, what about if I came to your room, Matt, and I loved your bedroom so much that I wanted it. I wanted all your toys in it and I wanted everything in it. And of course the children go, oh, they look at me and I go, do you think that's nice? No. And I say to them, well, that's what happened. People came to Australia and they love the land because it's so beautiful, but they took it. They didn't ask, they just took it. Is that kind? No. And then one of the little girls said to me once, she goes, but you can sleep in my bed with me, Desi. And I had to go, think quick and go, no, I don't want you in my bed, Lily. I want it to myself. And she said, oh, that's not nice. I said, no, it's not nice, is it? I said, but that's what happened. And that's why we say thank you. And of course, to them, I say to them, how are we going to look after country? And we'll look after the animals. And they always tell me we won't throw rubbish, because that's their concept that I get, that the Aboriginal people never took anything they didn't need and they cared for the land. So from a 3-year-old's perspective or a 4-year-old's perspective, that is, well, we're not going to throw rubbish and we're not going to be mean and we're not going to hurt animals. And I think, well, they're pretty good lessons to have in life. So, yeah, we've just got to get on this. Hopefully this generation, when they grow up, will have such a great understanding and will want to make a change. And, you know, it was wonderful when we did say sorry, but it was way too late. And, you know, and like I said to my own children and my children at work, sorry isn't just a word. Sorry means making a conscious decision not to do that again. And you may make that mistake and that's okay. It's not okay if you don't learn from that mistake.
Yeah.
You know, because we do make mistakes. We're human. But yeah, so we're having a fun week at work this week. So we'll go through till the 3rd of May, which is Mabo Day. And yeah, and we've made a Mia hut and we've been gathering gum leaves to put over it. So it's very exciting.
It'd be so much fun to have you as a teacher. As a kid.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I think I told you I stumbled into it. I got asked to help out and I was like, oh my God, I love this. And look, I think I did know. And like I said, I would have always loved to be on play school. I create my own play school every day. So yeah, I went back. I studied it when I was still breastfeeding Gemma. So I'd have to race home, feed her, and then I'd go to school and study. Yeah.
Oh.
A long time ago now.
For people that want to find out more about National Reconciliation Week, they can go to the website, which is nrw.reconciliation.org.au. And
beautiful.
Okay, Ken.
Well, now we can go back to prisoner. Tell us about your memories of working with Taya Stratton.
It makes me sad to think of Taya. I loved Taya. I thought she was just this, she'd bounce, you know, her hair would bounce, so beautiful. She had this glorious red hair and she just was like a little fairy, like a little fairy bouncing around. And I'm not sure whether she was vegan or just vegetarian, but she used to make the most amazing food that she would bring into the green room. And, you know, back then it was a bit, you know, Australia was very meat and 3 vegetables. You know, vegetarian meat, you got your broccoli and you got your peas and carrots and that was it. But she'd make these amazing meals and I was so sad. I went with Cheryl Monks to the Prisoner 21st event and yeah, 21st, because we had the key. Her sister was there representing Taya and I thought, oh wow, she's off overseas doing amazing things. And I was really sad to hear that she passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad.
But yeah, I loved everyone I worked with. Everyone, you know, people are all different. Some people, you know, you feel more comfortable with, because I was very shy. I was very shy when I was younger, and working in the film and television industry, you're often really in awe, which then makes you more shy. So yeah, Taya was always very beautiful to me, because I was probably very quiet in the green room, even though I talk a lot now. But yeah, like I said, I'm better in a small group than I am in a big group.
Fantastic. Now, back when you were on Prisoner, did you get a lot of fan mail? So this is two questions, actually. Fan mail, and what was probably the most unusual place that you've been recognised in as Delia, or from any other roles?
Oh, the most unusual place, but it turned out to be funny. I was at the Oktoberfest in 1989, and this man came up to me and he wouldn't leave me alone. I was in the Australian tent. Oh my gosh, the Australians are so disgraceful. And they're drinking like jugs of beer. I don't drink either. And I hate the smell of beer, so I didn't want to get it. Oh, I'll tell you a funny story about that too after. I didn't want to get any beer on me. And this man came up to me, and I can't remember the actress he thought I was. And he was like, I had to have photos. He was an American. He thought I was an actress. I think her name was Pia somebody, but an American actress. And he's like, why are you still talking in that accent? I'm like, this is my accent. So that was the most unusual recognition, because was her name Pia Zadora? Is there an actress called Pia Zadora?
Sounds familiar, yeah.
I don't know. Oh, anyhow, it was it. Oh, somebody once thought I was the girl in The Exorcist. That was really nice. I hope they thought I was her pre-scary makeup. I used to go to Northland a lot. Mum worked for Lancome over there, and there's a lot of Greeks and Italians there, and I always remember this beautiful Greek lady grabbing my face and going, oh, you know, because I was on Prisoner, saying to me, oh, you Greek, yeah? And I'm like, no. Oh, why you know Greek? Why? I'm like, I don't know. And then I always remember, and I still got it, this lady called Jutta, I might be saying it wrong, Jutta. She made me a beautiful handkerchief and sent it with a fan letter. And it was like a white cotton handkerchief, and she crocheted all around the edge in a lovely tangerine colour. I thought that was so lovely that she'd made something for me.
Yeah, wow.
I've had some strange things. Gemma gets freaked out. Sometimes she will block fans. I had a lady ring me once at 3 a.m. from America. This was a few years ago. And she was singing the Prisoner theme song to me. And Gemma goes, they can find out where you live on Google Earth. That was weird.
Wow.
But yeah, but I'll tell you my Oktoberfest story, because this is a funny story, not related to Prisoner, but it was, I'd just done Delinquents, and I was over there. I went on, my dad didn't want me to go around Europe on my own. I was ready to go by myself. Anyhow, made me do a Kentucky tour. And there were these 2 Australian guys on the tour, Bill and Bert, and they lived on a sheep farm in Western Australia. They'd never been even into Perth. And the girl who'd come from Scotland to be a Jillaroo was getting married to one of their friends. So they were going over to be the best men at this wedding. Anyhow, we're all the way along this Bill, he kept referring to me as his missus. Now, I wasn't your kind of pub slang girl who might be called your missus. I was a little bit.
And hang on, just before you go on, if we can explain to the fans overseas, I don't know if a missus is a common term over there, but here it's your wife, you know, it's your missus. It's
your wife.
Your wife.
Well, and plus I don't like being referred to belonging to anybody anyway. And so he kept referring to me as your missus, me missus, are you all right? Anyhow, they were in the pit. So it's in a pit where all the drinking, and I was around the outsides. And all of a sudden, this little German man sidled up to me and he said, please, I would like a little kiss. And I looked at him and I said, no, I don't know you. Oh, please, let me have one little kiss. I said, no. And I could see Bill looking at me and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, fine. And then this German guy who I have said no to a kiss goes, please let me have a little fuck with you. And all of a sudden Bill looked at me and I'm like, I'm not all right. And Bill came over and he goes, hey, what you doing with me, missus? And I was like, oh my God, I love this saying. I love it. And he's like, oh, no, sorry. But when we were walking out, this little German guy grabs my arm and he goes, please, we have one little fuck. And I'm like, please, no. Yeah, I see you're taking me down memory lane, jogging little things in my brain I've forgotten. Yeah,
Hilarious.
so I was very happy to hear the missus turn. And yeah, because up until then, Bill was starting to run. I liked him as, you know, they were great fun guys, but he was rubbing me up. That was when I went with all the South Africans as well. That was, he was rubbing me up the wrong way, kept calling me my missus, but oh my God, I was glad he said that time.
I wonder if
Yeah, so that was the same day I got
fan
recognised as some actress I wasn't.
I wonder if
I
that
had all
German,
these photos taken.
I wonder
Sorry?
if that German fan is still out there watching.
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I'm sorry I swore, actually, but it's in the context of what he said.
yes, of course. And you don't do that all the time.
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Now, you obviously see many people at the events you've attended, especially little German people you've attended for the show over the years, including little German people you didn't work with in the show. Are you still friends? Are you still friends and in contact with anyone from the show?
I am. Maxine Clibben-Gators is one of my dearest friends. And actually, Matt was ringing me last night and I was on the phone to Maxine at the time. And I think it was the quickest conversation when I said, oh, Matt's trying to ring me. Oh, she said, I better go, because normally we're on the phone for a few hours. I still see Cheryl Monks from time to time. Tell you a funny story about, we're talking about spiritual stuff the other day. So I'd gone to Cheryl's baby shower and it was Gemma's first birthday. So Gemma's just had her 26th birthday. And so Jesse's just had his 25th, May the 22nd. Anyhow, Gemma's birthday, I'm getting things ready for the family coming over that night. And I kept smelling Cheryl's perfume. I think I told you how I get things where I smell. And I thought Cheryl wasn't quite due to have Jesse. And I thought Cheryl's having the baby. And, you know, when I spoke to Cheryl, at that time when I was smelling her, she was having Jesse. So her son's exactly 1 year younger than Gemma.
This is not
just
now.
A little bit of a...
This is all that time ago. Isn't it? Cheryl just hasn't had a baby now, though, isn't it? It's going back.
No, our babies are 25 and 26.
Wow.
It's called a miracle now if Cheryl and I had babies. I've still got a picture in my bedroom. I can't get rid of it, that Cheryl gave me for my 21st birthday.
Oh, wow.
Because we were friends before Prisoner. Maxine and I were friends before Prisoner. So, yeah, but, you know, when I go and I see anyone, I just, even whether I worked on the show with them or without them, there's just this lovely connection. I love it when I catch up with Maria Mercedes. I just think she's an amazing, and of course I was a huge Young Talent Time fan, and Maria was often on there as a guest.
Yeah.
So she was another one. When I met her, I was like really a bit starstruck and excited. Yeah, beautiful people. You know, I've worked with Louise Siverson in a play, and it's been lovely when I've caught up with her at things. You know, she has a lovely energy about her, and yeah, I love it. I haven't seen Lois Collender for a few years, and she was always just love. I mean, I probably would never say anyone wasn't lovely, but if I say they were really lovely, that means they really were lovely.
Lovely.
Yeah, just a really nice person. Yeah, I love it when I see anyone. There's just this lovely happiness about connecting up. I mean, I hadn't seen Peppy Trevor for years, and it was beautiful to see her. And she'd gone on to become a nurse, and yeah, it's. I love hearing. I always want to write this book called Not Just Someone's Mum, or Not an Ordinary Woman, because I think women, men do too, but women often we get identified mainly as, you know, at school I was on the PFA and everything, but I'm Gemma's mum. Oh yeah, you're Desiree, but you're Gemma's mum. And I think women have these amazing journeys, and we often go back we often will restudy later in life, or we've gone through adversities to get where we are. I just love to write a little book with all stories of women, you know, about their journeys in life. And yeah, I find it fascinating.
Yeah, I do too, definitely. And then speaking of catching up with people, a little plug, August the 7th.
August the 7th.
August the 7th, you're going to be catching up with
Free hugs for everyone.
Free hugs. It's Free Hug Day.
It'll be National Hug Day.
The Talking Prisoner event with Maxine Clibben-Gatus and Peppy Trevor.
Yes.
And everyone's very excited. Fans are reaching out, and you know, the fans.
Maxine is so excited, Matt. You have no idea how excited she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really, because at the last prisoner thing, she wasn't very well. She is really well now, and I know people talk about it. Let me tell you, I've known Maxine for over 40 years. Would be it would be. Oh my God, how can I know her 40 years? We met in the nursery. We're in the hospital together. No. Maxine always runs on the skinny side of life as much as I run on the fat side of life. You know, so if Maxine gets sick, she, you know, drops weight. I get sick, I tend to eat and put on weight. But I know there's often been a lot of talk. Maxine is really healthy.
Yes.
She's really excited about this. And I'll tell you what, Matt, she's one of the most amazing. She's eccentric, and I absolutely love that about her. She's so talented in all areas. Anything creative, she is talented. I have the most beautiful crocheted rug from her, and I was telling someone about her house in Windsor. Now, this is going back to like when we were in our very early 20s. She made this amazing mirror, and it had all, so there was the mirror, and then around it she'd put plaster, and there was all bits of jewelry and broken glass. I've never seen anything like it in my life. You know, her house was amazing. So yeah, I'm always excited to catch up with Maxine. But yeah,
I have to say with Maxine, I was on the phone to her last week for it would have been about 50 minutes. And after I got off the phone.
That's a short conversation, Matt.
My jaw was so sore from the amount of laughing. She
goes to me all the time, are you there? And I'm a bit of a silent laugher at times. And I'm like, I'm just laughing, Maxine. I'm just digesting everything you're telling me.
It's hilarious. But, and Ken's jumping for joy about the event too. He's very excited over there.
Oh, you need to get her. I'm going to forget the character's last name. It's Ivana. The character, you have to ask her about her horticulturist. Sorry, not COVID. You have to ask her about her horticulturalist character. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. And when she takes her mum off, because her mum was a Londoner as well. So her mum was a Londoner and her dad's Lithuanian. She takes them off to a tea.
And not to play Ken's trumpet here, because I don't need to. The fans are excited that Ken's coming. I will say that.
Yes.
Some fans have reached out and said, I can't believe Ken's going to be there. So
I can't believe I'm going to be there either.
Yeah, I can't believe.
Well, that's so exciting because Ken knows everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
we're going to have such a lovely day, aren't we?
Definitely.
I have a couple of little surprises, which I'm not going to tell you about for that particular day. So we'll see how it all pans out.
Amazing.
Oh, we'll make it fun.
It will be fun. My motto,
it'll be that lovely,
my
that
slogan
lovely energy in the room.
Yes, and my slogan for the event is "By the fans, for the fans." So,
that's nice.
A fan event. Getting back on track.
The fans are awesome. We are so blessed with the fans that we have. I mean, I lose sight, Matt. I don't think of them as fans. You know, over the years going to the things, they've become very good friends. Yeah. You know, and it's really nice.
Definitely.
I'd love to meet the English fans, though. How nice would that be? Yeah. You know, these beautiful people have written to me over the years, and I would love to see them.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, the highest traffic for our YouTube channel comes from the UK.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'd love to see England again. Sometimes I worry I'll never get there again. You know, the funny thing is, every time I went over as a kid, I'd see the Thames River and I'd start, I said to my sister who works in Aboriginal housing, you know, and her knowledge of the Aboriginal people is astounding. I said, but that must be how they feel that connection to land. It's like when I fly over it, there's this pull in me, this pull that even though I think of myself as Australian because I've lived here so long, but I also know I'm not naturalised and still on a British passport, because I feel that pull when I go over the Thames. It's like, if you can imagine, it's like your solar plexus near your umbilical cord. It's like this tie to the land. And sometimes I get worried that I'm never going to see it again. But one day I will.
Yeah, you will.
One day I'll get that, and I'll get to see the British fans when I go.
Definitely.
It's the pull of Boris Johnson, isn't it? Come on. Be honest.
Don't get political, Ken.
Ken, I will take a comb for Boris and some scissors, probably. He's the scruffiest looking prime minister ever. Him and Donald Trump. What are these men thinking?
I think he's got a great hairstyle. I think it's getting out of the bed and not brushing your hairstyle. I think that's what it is.
But it's not the look for a leader of a country. It's like when all of Hollywood went through the grunge phase. It was like, really? Do I want to put on the Academy Awards and people are wearing tatty dungarees? No, I want to look at the glittery dresses and all the beautiful things.
Yeah.
I love glitter and I love pink.
Now, getting back on track, are you still surprised to this day how popular Prisoner is? Are you amazed at how popular over the world it is still?
Yeah. And you've met Connor, haven't you? You know, like that blew me away. I think when he started coming, he was only like 13.
Oh, wow.
You know, he was just, I mean, he's still only, he's not even a young, well, I guess technically he's a young man. You know, that blew me away, that's not even the next generation. That's the next generation, you know, still loving it. I always laugh. Most women who've breastfed have seen Prisoner because it was always on in those lonely hours when you're sitting up with the baby. Prisoner would be on. So women know it. But yeah, it does amaze me. And people who've watched it because they watched it on TV, say of my vintage, but then younger people who, like you, Matt, who said they were peeping behind while their mum was watching it to see it. You know, this is why we need more Australian drama on TV.
Absolutely.
And you've got me going away, apart from singing especially for you for the last 2 days, thinking about, you know, I started to feel really sad that Neighbours was ending.
Yeah.
You know, it is an iconic show and it's sad.
Well, it was like
really
Zimmer Anderson, who we interviewed recently, who was on Neighbours. She said Neighbours was the training ground. It was the school to learn to act. That's, you know, with all those talented actors and people that are in the industry. Yeah.
What about all the shows that Crawford Productions used to put out?
Well, Ken knows Crawford.
You know,
I've worked on a lot of them.
You worked there?
I worked on a lot of shows at Channel 10, like Matlock Police, Showcase. I worked on Homicide at Channel 7. I worked on Consider Your Verdict at Channel 7, way back in the 60s.
Yeah. I used to watch Matlock Police, and then Paul Cronin went on to do the Sullivans. We were just talking about that at work the other day. I remember going home to make the first episode. I would love to watch the Sullivans again.
Yes.
It's never on anything.
I know.
I think Netflix is thinking about putting that on.
I worked on that too.
Oh, how good was that, Ken? That would have been lovely. I worked with Andrew McFarlane on The Flying Doctors. He's a lovely, what a gentleman. What a beautiful gentleman. Your puppies have just gone for a run. Did you hear that? The thunder paws. Gemma. Sorry. Oh, we're on air. Oh, I keep forgetting. I feel like we're just having a chat. Tuck Dappy out.
That's what a lot of our
Jackie's
guests
going
say.
out
They just
tonight.
feel like they're just having a casual chat with us. It's great. We love it.
I know, I like it.
Yeah. Great format. Ken.
Tell us what you thought about the reimagining of Prisoner at Wentworth. Did you watch it?
I did watch. I watched the first 2 seasons, and not that I didn't watch any more because I didn't like it. I found, oh, now Ken, you will know, why was it all blue? I think I told you I had a brain aneurysm, so light can affect me with getting headaches, and I just found it visually hard to watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found, I don't know if it just wasn't bright enough for me, but I loved it. And I mean, at first I was confused because they'd sort of really changed the characters around.
Yeah.
Plus, there was a couple of times when they had characters, they had an actress of my age, and she was trying to have a baby, and that confused me because I was like, because I look at things like that, that you can't be having a baby when you're in your 50s. It's a miracle if that happens. But yeah, I love that they brought it back. I would have liked to have been on it. Maybe it's jealousy. Maybe that's why. No, it's not. It was just, I did struggle. Oh, and then I was watching it on Foxtel, and then my Foxtel broke, and I think I just fell so far behind. But I do intend to one day binge watch it. Normally I do those things over Christmas holidays. Yeah, but did you guys like it?
Oh, I loved
Did you
it.
watch it?
Ken hasn't seen it yet. So Ken and I are going to maybe have a sleepover one night and sit and watch popcorn and binge watch it together. He's
Can you have a look at it's like, and it's not just Wentworth that do it. It must be some new filming technique. But for me, I find that actually hard. It makes my eyes ache.
They may have
I
used
don't know what it
filters.
is.
They may have used filters, blue filters on it. I don't know because I've not seen it.
Well,
But
their uniform is teal. It's that teal color. It was all teal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just would have liked a bit more. And that's not the actors. That's, I guess, the director wanted that, or the, well, yeah, ultimately the director. Yeah, but the acting was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
The 2 seasons that I saw was really good. I mean, Danielle McCormick, I still love her in The Underbelly. Like, she's just outstanding in that. I love Australian drama. But I will get back to, maybe I'll come for the sleepover too.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, free hugs, is popcorn.
Do I get a little kiss? A little kiss?
Yeah, a little one. Just a little
Can I
one.
put on his German outfit that he's got?
No, please, no. That was a nightmare.
I'm still knocked out by the sleepover idea with Matt.
We can all, you know what Gemma bought me? Because I feel the cold. She bought me, have you seen these onesies? They're like a sleeping bag.
Oh, the
with
hoodie.
No, it's not a hoodie, Matt. It's
the
hoodie.
It's called an hoodie, like with an O. Hoodie, not a hoodie.
No, it's bigger than an hoodie.
Oh,
it covers my head all the way down to my toes. It's a sleeping bag that zips up. I look like a giant Yeti in it. She got me the extra large because I always like everything big. It's for a 6 foot to a 6'8" tall person. I'm 5'3". Anyhow, she bought it, or 5'4" I am, mum's 5. And she bought it for me and it rustles.
That's that episode of Seinfeld. You remember that? Do you watch Seinfeld? And
yeah, I
George
watched
got
every
those
episode.
pants, and every time he walked, it made those.
Well, any dress in the 80s was made out of taffeta, and it used to do that on the dance floor. But yeah, so I can bring my onesie. They're at Aldi. They're $49.99 at Aldi.
Oh, there we go.
They're for sleeping out like I'm ever going to camp. I can't stand the cold. I would never go camping because I would fear of being cold. She goes, I thought when we don't want the heater on, you can just sit in it. I may go and get it after and put it on for you. and you will see what I
We
mean.
need to see it now because I might go and buy Ken and I one after this. Zip down to Aldi.
Well, there's a smaller size at top pink. Mine's purple. Plus, I hate the colour purple. She knows I'm a pink girl. She goes, but I knew you'd want the bigger size. Big, it's enormous. Before we go, I am going to go and quickly change into it and show you.
The fans will want to see it. Now, speaking of fans, we've got some fan questions. The first one is from Stuart Kerry. He said, when Desiree arrived at Prisoner, Delia, Michael and Philip seemed almost a unit, but in time it seemed the boys' characters were developed much more while Delia wasn't. Was Desiree disappointed with that?
I think I was, because I think, I would have liked something. And then there was a gap before all the boat scenes and that. Like, I think before that I was just like, what am I doing here? It was just, it was a bit boring. Delia's character got a bit boring. So, yeah, I was disappointed.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I've got a comment from Terry Rogers, and it's T-E-R-I. So I'm not too sure about whether girl or boy, but she says, that's wonderful news about you being on. Great to have Desiree on. She is such a lovely lady. Kiss, kiss, kiss.
Oh,
Little kiss.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. I'm happy to kiss Ken, but not to strangers I don't know who just sort of have a demanding way. But I won't be doing the other thing.
Well, Ollie James, we've covered all his questions in the actual interview. So we'll move on to, I think I think Desiree will know this next person.
Desiree is one of the most inimitable and unique actresses in Australia. Incredibly memorable, intelligent, funny, and you hang on every word she says. It was a dream come true to have been her on-screen bogan boyfriend. The camera loves her and she reaches beyond that and touches the audience. She's a true movie star.
You know who that
is that my Pash guy? Is that Tim? Oh, that's a really nice thing to say.
Yeah, that's great. Jay Shaw said, hi, Desiree. Are you in touch with anyone from you are from the cast. We've just established that.
Yeah.
Who did you enjoy working with the most? And Jay's from the UK.
Like I said before, obviously being with Maxine and Cheryl, there's another dimension. Well, though Maxine and I weren't on Prisoner at the same time, but there's another level because, there's friendship, birthdays shared and things. I really did love everyone. I probably, no, you know what? I didn't even hang out with anyone in particular more than the others. Terry and Taya were always lovely. Kylie, we're all around the same age. Michael, I absolutely adore and always will. I loved Philip too. The older actresses were great. They were so wise. They were funny. They had so much wisdom. I have to say I can't tell you that backstage there was any sort of cliquey groups or bitchiness. It was just nice. It was nice being with everyone, and everyone has something beautiful and valuable that they give to you. I mean, Marion Dimmick was like a second mother to me. I will tell you a funny story. She got to work one day. She, you have to get her on that. She is hilarious.
Yeah.
She saw a dog on the way. She was late to the studio. She saw a dog on the way that she was insistent was her sister's dog, had escaped. So she loaded it. Was big like German Shepherd dog. She loaded it into the car and then realised it wasn't her sister's dog. So she had to take it to the police station. I mean, she'd rescued it off the road. It could have got run over. But she had to go and tell them that she'd actually unintentionally stolen someone's dog. So yeah, everybody. I couldn't say I had a favourite. I liked different things about everyone. Had their own thing that they'd bring to it, and even Maggie, who was like superstar of the show, she was wonderful as well. She wasn't conceited in any way or treated you like she thought she was better than you. She was always very kind and giving to me, and yeah. So
did you feel as a young actress at the time, I mean, you're still young now, but as a younger actress at the time, was Prisoner like a learning ground with so many talented actresses that were on that show? Did you feel you learned on the show?
It was, and though I'd done some work before, like Moving Out, what I did with Kate Jason. She was on Prisoner too. Kate was the, and so like Vincent, Morris and Tibor and I, all the younger cast, we'd never acted. So it was a brand new experience for us, Then I worked on the ABC, always cherish working on the ABC. The pay is shocking, but the opportunities, they always have really good directors, and work with some great directors there. But then to work on Prisoner, because it was so iconic, it was just, I'm really happy that I feel like I've been part of Australian cultural history, media history. I'm really proud that I got to work on it. And yeah, you just sit in awe and listen to tales. And Maggie had worked on the stage in musical theatre, and that that's just something I would love to do if only I could sing. I'm the clicker girl.
I've got one from Cole Taylor who says, "Hi Desiree, I'm sure you are one of the rare few who appeared in the first year of Neighbours in 1985 before going into Prisoner. One episode I recall you were at a party with the characters Danny and Scott. Do you remember much about that?"
Well, I really do remember that, because that was the episode I was telling you that, and it was sort of set up like a party. That smell and that smoke that they put off, that smell. It really did feel like a party because it was a young thing, and Maxine was there. Maxine, who wasn't on the show at that time. I don't think she was on the show at that time, but she was there because Andrew was directing it. So it was a really joyful day at the studio.
Yeah, amazing.
But you're taking me back a long way.
Bonnie Davis Shacko, who's a massive Prisoner fan and a really big fan of our podcast, said, "Yay, Desiree Smith. So happy to get to hear from you. I would like to know how much fun you had on set, because I love the way you seem to really be enjoying yourself in every scene."
I did have fun, but like I said, I was probably a little bit awestruck, and which tends to make me a little bit shy. But so I would just sit and listen. I'd listen to the tales and probably didn't contribute a lot. I did with Joy. I always did with Joy Bell. I was always, chatting with her. She was always astounded that I'd been a thumb sucker, because her husband was a dentist. And I told her, I'd been like maybe a bit older than 12 before I stopped sucking my thumb. Yeah, but I look back and I think I was probably a bit quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not very good at pushing myself forward like that. I tend to, we were talking the other day about bullying and that. I think, yeah, I sort of wait till I know that people are likable and I feel safe. And I did feel safe at that stage, but I probably was quiet.
That's why it only took 42 episodes to get you on this show.
Aaron,
we play phone tag though, Matt, don't we? Matt and I do a lot of phone tagging. I've told him, don't send messages, ring me. I'm not good with messages.
Well, that's the thing. It's the world we live in now. People are scared. I prefer just to ring someone. I just ring all the time. but everyone's scared
Yeah.
to pay for a phone these days. It's like, oh,
What about the love of sitting opposite someone with a cup of coffee in your hands? That's even better,
yes,
isn't it? You know, I love that. I love that it's a connected world, because you will just send a quick message. You know,
Yeah.
I've got letters from, like, when I was working away, from my sister, you know, sent me handwritten letters. You know, when I was up in Sydney filming, that would be, because phone calls were expensive. I love that you can instantly send a little message or a little emoji that just means I'm thinking of you. I like that. That nothing beats sitting down with someone. Nothing beats greeting them with a hug and, you know, like, oh, just thriving off their energy for a while is really nice, isn't it?
it's funny with letters.
Yeah,
though.
but I prefer to talk than, because I don't always have my phone on me. Like, my house sounds funny, right? My house is 5 levels. But it's more like a little doll's house. You know how doll's house has all the little rooms, little tiny, that's what my house is like. It was some hideous 70s dream home with discotheque wallpaper and that's so not me. So I turned it into like an American cottage house. But so when I say to people, you know, my room's up the very top. So if you're ringing me, you know, I can't hear it.
Yeah.
So, you know, sending messages and that, whereas normally I would say ring the phone, I'll normally hear it and come down for it.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a message from Darren Hembrow, who's now had his name mentioned 3 times on this show. He says, again, I cannot believe how amazing these interviews are, and to have this fantastic actress in the interview series. I cannot wait to see it and learn all about Desiree. Just want to say you played a great character, showing empathy to the prisoners, especially Merle, and the scene with the party was amazingly emotional, surely leaving a lump in the throat of many. Shame that you were in it that you weren't in it to the very end. And he does ask the question, where did you go?
I went off with my unwed pregnancy to Marty Jackson. I don't know where I went really, but let's go with that. That sounds much nicer, but thank you. That's really beautiful things to say. Yeah, I much prefer to give compliments and receive them, though. It makes, I felt like my face was all going, I don't know if I look like it, but I could feel my face getting really hot.
I'm going to give you another compliment.
You're this colour right now.
Yeah, I am.
There's a compliment from Alicia Akari saying, awesome. I love Delia. I wish she stayed in the show longer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it would have been nice to have, but that's, like I said, I did feel like I wasn't getting a lot of good storylines, and I honestly think that the writers just forgot about the character.
But did you quit Prisoner, or what actually?
No.
Oh, you didn't.
No, I think what happened, that they found out about the ending, and my contract was running out, so there was just, I mean, had the show not ended, I'm sure they would have written some ending for Delia.
Yep.
But I still think my idea was the best, that she got pregnant to Marty, and that was the room she was decorating, was the nursery.
Yeah.
Well, the next person, Richard Newsham, says he saw you on the recent live videos Matt did, and she looked fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
Wondering if she ever got any fan mail from overseas, especially the UK, as when I saw her in Prisoner, I was a teenager and had a crush on her.
Oh, wow. Bring him over here. That's all right. Not many men in my life have had crushes on me. I did get a lot of fan mail from England, and I think Bonnie, who you spoke about before, is in America. She sent, I mean, it's not fan mail so much now. She sends me lovely messages on Facebook and that. It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've got friends all over the world. I don't feel like people are fans. Probably I would think of them being, you know, the ones who like the lady who rang me and sang, and I was a bit scared because she sounded a bit drunk, even though she was miles away. It was a little bit confronting. Then I think, oh, that's a fan that might be a bit unsafe. But I think of the fans as, I don't think of them like that. I think of them as friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really nice when I get messages from overseas. And yes, I have got letters that I've kept that I had from, there's a man called Kenton Boxall who wrote to me, that Benji
That's
falling
Ben.
out.
He's only this big, but he sounds this big. Betty, call it.
There's little Charlotte. I showed you the big ones before. She's little. Now there's a story that connects me to Timothy Burns about this dog. So we were filming Veronia Boys, and on the day, Tim had this little Jack Russell called Jack, who he absolutely adored. We had a really bad storm that day, and Jack went missing. And so we were filming in Tim's mum and dad's old house. Jack went missing. We all went out, the cameraman, Maxine and I, everybody's driving everywhere looking for this dog. Anyhow, I got back to the house and Jack had been so scared, he'd climbed in his mum had kept an old potato sack in the pantry.
Oh, wow.
Jack had climbed into the potato sack in the pantry. So successfully that day, I found one Jack Russell in a storm. I'm driving home and I'm going along Manningham Road, and I was with Gemma and we saw these two little Jack Russells on the road, but a lady had stopped to help them, and I got there and it's raining. She's going to an engagement party dressed up beautifully, and she said, I've got to go. And I said, it's all right. I'll look after them. Anyhow, one had her tag on. So my old father-in-law lived around the corner. I thought I'll go round to his house, to Lindsay's house, and I'll ring from there. And because obviously the owner's within this vicinity. Anyhow, he was out, so I took the dogs home. Had to ring Manningham Council, and I got Eric, who I said to him, oh, Eric, I found these two little dogs on Manningham Road. Somebody is going to be frantically looking for them. And I said, this is their thing. Well, I can't give you out the number. I said, Eric, I'm not asking for the number. I'm giving you my telephone number and their registration number. And Eric said to me, well, madam, you have taken the dogs from Manningham into Nillumbik, which is my shire that I live in. And I ended up going, well, Eric, if I didn't, they would have been dead dogs in Manningham, but instead there are live dogs in Nillumbik, and I would like you to find their owner. Well, he hung up on me. So then I rang our council and I got our really lovely ranger who said, oh, let me guess, it was Eric. I said, yes, it was. See, I remember this man's name from like 14 years ago. And I said, I've got these two beautiful dogs, but while they were at my house, they got jiggy with it and they made Charlotte. And so I had to tell the owner, and of course my kids were younger. Gemma's going, oh, Mum, his intestines are hanging out, because I didn't know a dog's penis was so long. And so the little dog, whose name was Jack as well. Hey, that's funny. Two Jacks in the one day were lost. So the little boy, Jack Russell, Mummy was Chihuahua Cross, it was dropping on the floor. Did you know they were that long? They're really long, the boys. Anyhow, I go to Liam and of course, Poopsie, the mother was really panting. I go to Liam, get some water for her. And they were still joined at the end. And Liam threw the water over, you know, like your school principal would throw water over two dogs who were up to no good at school. I said, not like that. I meant for the dog to drink. Anyhow, Maria said, well, if they make puppies, you can have one. So that is Miss Charlotte.
Oh my
Charlotte
God.
was the puppy that was made.
Wow.
So on the day of filming Veronia Boys, I found 3 Jack Russells. Well, Poopsie was a Jack Russell cross Chihuahua. I found 3 Jack Russells, and that day really was the beginning of my little Jack Russell.
Wow.
So yeah.
And Eric,
been the greatest
out there.
I ever got.
A message for Eric.
Eric, I don't know, he's still out there at Manningham Castle. But I did not steal them. I just saved them. Yeah, sorry, gone off track again. I go off track a lot.
That's okay. Where'd we get up to? Me.
Yeah, but
Well, we've answered this question from Martin James B, just asking about why no romance with Marty and why he disappeared. And yeah, so we'll move on.
Yes.
Yeah, why no romance with Marty?
I'm thinking about the little Jack Russell. You could call a little Jack Russell Jack or Russell or even Little.
I've never met one called Russell. Isn't that funny?
I've never met one called Little either.
Oh, well, Charlotte's called Charlotte because I love that name when I was pregnant, but I kept dreaming the name Gemma, dreaming it night after night. I'd have this dream. And, you know, going back to the spirit, oh, it sounds like just Coxie Rose. So my nan used to read cards for people when she was back in England. She'd read for all the people in a village. And she was known to be quite accurate with her predictions. Anyhow, Nanny had a stroke when I was pregnant. I had very bad pregnancies, but with Gemma, I had chronic morning sickness. I couldn't even go 10 minutes in the car because I'd be so violently ill. So my nanny, who I was always close to, who'd had the stroke and was in a nursing home now, I couldn't visit her when I was pregnant. And she'd lost her speech with it. Anyhow, my auntie walked in and she said, I know, Desiree's had the baby. Her name is Gemma. That is the name that's chosen for that child. Now, I'd never told anyone about the name Gemma because I was still calling my baby Charlotte. And when she came out, Lindsay said, not Lindsay, my old father-in-law, Lindsay was Gemma's dad. Lindsay said, oh, hello, Gemma, when she came out. And so the name stuck. But my nan said, I told her that was the name for that child. It's the name of a saint, because Nanny was very Catholic. It's the name of Saint Gemma of Galgani, and apparently she's the patron saint of pharmacy students. Gemma ended up being a nurse, so I think pretty close. Yeah, so when I got the little dog, that's when I got my Charlotte.
Excellent.
I actually mentioned Jack Russells and so forth because I've been putting off this next comment. From Adam Carl Sedlacek.
I gave you this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I bet you did. He says, I'd love to see her in more roles. Any chance?
Oh no, I don't think anyone's out there looking for me. And you know, I don't even know if Showcase the magazine was around. You know, you used to put your face in Showcase and hope that some director would want you for something. But let's never say never. Let's put it out there in the universe and something wonderful will happen.
Love to see you back on TV.
It'd be very nice.
Scott Whiteley or Whitley said, Whiteley, looking forward to seeing the lovely Desiree on the show.
And Cliff Dickinson says, one of the nicest Christmas stars I have met, and was so nice to spend some time with her on board the Wattle. I hope you go in depth with that time with her. Ha, ha, ha.
So the Wattle was the boat that was on Prisoner, which is still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been restored.
Wow.
So at the time, people were working on it, but now someone has restored it, and you can go off on a you can go like for a trip on it.
Oh, actually,
that's what we should do.
We should do
a prisoner event aboard the Wattle.
Aboard the Wattle. That's the next one.
We could have food and drink for those who like to drink. I'll just stick to my water, and I don't have a problem with alcohol because I've always felt like people must think, oh, she doesn't drink because she's had a problem. I do. I have one glass, it goes to my head, and I'm silly, and I might be embarrassing to my friends. So it's best I don't drink.
And we will have to bring
for those who want to have a drink.
We will have to bring them up in case someone gets thrown off the boat. He can go and rescue them.
Yeah, that's right. He's the one to rescue. Yeah, they do. You can go out on the Wattle. It's a lovely little boat.
Wow, love that. Brian McBride said, who from the previous cast members that weren't on the show when you're on the show would you have liked to have worked with? So going back on Prisoner before you were on it?
Oh, of course, Val Lehman. Who wouldn't want to work with her? And Sheila Florence. I would love to work with her. I love their characters. I love the character of Mum as well. Mary Ward. That would have been lovely. I mean,
106. Was it 105 or 106?
I know. Imagine the tales she could have told of when she started out in the industry.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been beautiful. Yeah, I would have loved that to do. Oh, I would have been happy to work with anyone. I just love meeting different people.
Yeah.
Martin James B says, ask Desiree the secret to aging backwards.
Don't. Oh, well, not to wear your glasses, because if I don't wear my glasses, I have to keep putting them on every now and then to see you guys. But without my glasses on, I do look young. It's not wearing glasses makes you look young. But then when I put my glasses on, I'm like, I think I told you. Sometimes I look in the mirror and go, oh my God, because you don't feel. Do you find that, Ken? You don't feel older.
I can't see myself now, so I can't tell you whether I'm younger or not.
No, I'm looking really young. I'm looking young now if you've got your glasses off. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe working with children, maybe that keeps you young in spirit.
No,
Still,
I know. I
you
do know what it
do
is. It's
Well-
and my partner tells me this a lot. She said, I've got to stop stressing because it's aging me. But you are probably one of the most positive people in life. And that's why you're aging backwards, because you are so.
Oh, maybe. But if I told you the truth of things that have been going on in my life, you'd go, oh my God, why hasn't she, jumped out the roof off the window by now? You just think you have to find the beauty in everything.
Yes.
You really do.
Glenn Freeman said, Desiree, it's always an honor to see you at prisoner events. Yeah, this is a bit of an X-rated question. So, yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Glenn's a gentleman.
yeah. He said this year at the prisoner event, Michael Winchester proposed and he was there to witness it. He wants to know where you went for your honeymoon.
Oh, Hawaii. My favorite place in the whole world, Hawaii. Yeah, Michael whisked me off to Hawaii, but sadly we didn't see much of the beach. It was just mainly the bed sheets.
Oh.
What you missed out on, Ken?
Married. Michael's married.
Michael Slavin says, why did Delia so rarely wear the uniform jacket? And he also says, I love Miss Stout.
Oh, how nice. Probably by choice, I would have done anything to. The wardrobe department were lovely. I mean, the uniform was god awful ugly. It was so horrible. Yeah, you can't move in it anyway. You really can't move around in it. So yeah, I don't know. And also it's very hot in the studio. So the wardrobe department were probably quite considerate at not, because I think I told you how thick and synthetic it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is all. We have covered all the questions and we've covered the interview. If there's anything else you would like to add. Oh, sorry, Ken, got two things.
I've got two things I'd like to add. One is a plug for me, because I wrote a fictional book which can still be bought on Amazon. It's called Before the Dream Time, and it was about fictional characters coming to Australia 60,000 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it's illustrated. I illustrated it as well. The other thing that I want to mention is I am still absolutely knocked out with the idea, and we should do this as a live show with a sleepover with Matt and a Yeti.
Oh, I've got to go get the Yeti costume.
Oh, yes.
Gemma, can you ask Gemma? Oh, all right. It's yelling at me. I'll go and get it.
Yeah,
Have you got a minute?
Yeah.
I will return in the Yeti costume. Hang on. I'm going to get it. Oh, All right, I'm going to turn this around. Okay. Wait for it. There's the colour purple. Colour purple. Right. Hang on. Have a look at the size of this. And I'm getting into the Yeti costume. Can you see me? Foot in. But it's got feet in it. Hang on. Might need a hand. Foot in.
Are they warm?
Zipper.
You feel warm in it?
Very warm. Hang on. It's so tall. I mean, oh, you know what, Matt? It would be really good for you because I was shocked at how tall hands. Here comes the Cadbury purple Yeti.
Oh yeah, it's a Cadbury, exactly. Yeah.
It is. Oh, hang
Like
on.
a polywaffle, a big polywaffle.
I was calling out to Gemma because I thought I might need. It looked like a big polywaffle. Hang on.
Yes.
It's very heavy.
See, Ken's excited now because I can go and buy them this afternoon at Aldi.
Yeah.
It's got
I don't need one of
everywhere.
those. I've got Benny.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's that? Something brown.
My
has turned
daughter
up
is
here.
going to want one of these.
Oh, hang on.
We could all fit in that.
We need to get the full effect. I need Gemma, come and help Mummy put the Yeti costume on. Come and help. Hang on, I'm going to let Gemma in the door. I may break my neck because it's very slippery. Come and help Mummy.
This is a
use the
first.
Yeti costume. I need help because I can't reach. Zip me up. Come on.
This is an interview with a floor show.
Yeah, I love it. I love going
We'll be
on.
getting the full effect of the Yeti costume in a minute.
Well, while you're getting dressed, we will plug the event.
Them
Okay, no, you're back.
There we go. Everything that a girl needs for her camping lifestyle. Can you see the feet?
That's great. Can your hands come through it or not?
Yeah, they can come through.
Oh,
I'm like the poster girl for the. Hang on, wait.
you're going to be getting endorsements from them now.
Can you see her? Oh, here's one of Daphne's puppies. Here's Billy. We have puppies here. Here's Billy. My daughter breeds German short-haired pointers. But and here's Winston.
Winston. Is that Winston with
Oh,
a
they're mummy's
white?
glasses. Yeah, very rare. You get that lemon colour. All right, I'm zipping out because
So
I'm having a hot flash.
you're going to wear that.
No, mummy's glasses. Off you go, baby.
You know, he's gone.
Are you going to wear that when we all get together?
Now, really, boys, what do you think? Am I going to attract myself a sugar daddy in that costume?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you think?
Yes.
Sexy.
We
I've
want you to
got funny
wear
hair
it
now.
on the day. Wear it on.
I mean, I should be wearing that to Marty because that is the attire any girl needs for bedtime. The puppies. Can you see them? They're playing on
Oh,
it
they're
now. Yeah, they're not allowed in this room.
Do they get quite hot to wear or they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do get hot. Hello. Billy's chewing it to pieces. Might be the only way I get rid of the thing. She said, oh, you don't seem to like it, Mum. I thought it was a joke. She goes, you know how you get cold and I don't, and you don't want to put the heater on? I don't think I'll be wearing that.
I don't like the heater. I can't have the heater on.
Oh, I can. I love being warm. I still sleep with my electric blanket on, and Daphne sleeps with me, so she makes it nice and warm in the bed.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Now, before we go, August the 7th, 447 Church Street, Richmond, Harlow Bar and Restaurant. Desiree Smith, Ken Mulholland, Peppy Trevor, Maxine Clibben Gatus. Go to the talkingprisoner.com website and click on events.
And come and see us.
Come and see us. We'll all be
We're all going to be wearing purple.
the Yeti costume.
Do you really want the Yeti to come? Aldi. They're at Aldi. Why she didn't get me the hot pink?
We'll try and
Naughty.
find a
There's
hot pink
tassels
one.
on this. There's tassels on this little table that you're on. Oh, it's really a foot puff. There's tassels on it, and Winston's chewing the tassels as we talk. Yeah. Do you have a dog, Matt?
I don't know. My daughter keeps asking me every day for one. I just
Oh,
I feel like
Matt, you
I
have
don't
to get her
have
one.
to devote to it.
I can remember wanting a dog. I can remember that feeling of, oh, it's so good for kids to have pets.
Yeah, I know.
I love dogs. I love cats too, but not like I love a dog. They're my favorite animal of all time.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these little guys will be going to their forever homes, and that's lovely but sad.
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go, Ken? You got a costume you're going to bring out for us? Or?
No,
Okay.
I'm just still freaked out about sleepovers.
Well, don't freak out. It's
Well,
happening tonight.
if you two want, I can go to Aldi and get you both. Maybe I could buy the pink one for me, and Matt can have the big purple one for the 6 foot tall person.
6'4".
6'4". Oh my goodness. Oh, you're exactly a foot taller than me. I am 5'4". I don't know why I was saying 5'3", because I measured myself recently. I've grown from 5'3.5". I'm now 5'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was episode 42 of Talking Prisoner. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this interview everywhere you can. Please also like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. And also this episode of Talking Prisoner will be available across all the podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google, and the rest of them, and the talkingprisoner.com website. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on again, Desiree.
Thank you. Can I say it's been so much fun. I have really enjoyed talking with you guys, and you've made my brain dumped into memories that I'd forgotten. But also, can I say thank you to the fans, because I am just so blessed by the love that they give, and that's just beautiful. And I love that we're all connected through Prisoner. You know, if that's what it took to bring us all together, then thank you to Prisoner too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
I look forward to the sleepover. And August the 7th.
August the 7th and the sleepover. That's a wrap.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a wrap.